You are a pathetic little bitch. And I'm going to tell you why in this video. So let's get started with the fundamentals. This is literally the first and the most important principle. And if you don't understand it, well, you're just going to be a submissive little bitch to this reality. Reality is just going to hold you by the balls. Other people are going to hold you by the balls. Your business is going to hold you by the balls, and so on and so on. So the first principle, and this is the most important one, everything that you see, the whole reality itself, it is mental. It is mental. Or spiritual, if you wish. So what that means is the reality is mental first, and then this mental energy, it's just like the matter itself is a condensed mental energy, right? And the person, the individual who is able to hold an image of the desired reality in the imagination is going to materialize the desires that they want. And moreover, you'll be able to control the matter and other people's minds. Now, on the other side, if you let opinions of other people, opinions of system, you are giving away the control, the keys to your reality, to the matrix itself, and the bots, NPCs, however you want to call, like the average Joe Schmo, right? This is not an idea. This is a fact. This is a literal fact. Whether you like it or not, this is exactly how this reality is designed. And now, while some people may be a little bit skeptical, what about the scientists? What about like quantum physics, blah, blah, blah? Doesn't matter in the context of this video. This is all bullshit. I'm just telling you, scientists do not fucking understand how this reality is designed. They think that if they study like math, quantum physics, if they use these formulas, it has something to do with the actual design or with the reality itself. But no. Now, let me ask you a big question. So everything that we just spoke about, everything that I've shared, why not? Think about this. Why not? And this is a question that you can honestly use in any context, but the context that I want to use for this video is the idea that you get paid to exist if you think that you deserve it. So if the reality is mental, it is literally mental. Anything that you think, anything that you desire, you can have it. Anything bad, you will also have it if you focus long enough on it. Like if you keep feeling these low vibrational kind of states, that could be guilt, that could be shame, that could be rush, you're not content, you're not like happy and fulfilled with where you're at right now. Now back to the topic. Why wouldn't the universe pay you for the sole fact of your existence? Can you show me a fucking law of the universe that says that you have to struggle, that you have to earn the money in your business, that you have to earn, like it applies to literally anything. You don't have to earn love, you don't have to earn friends, you don't have to earn money in your business. And the only reason why you are experiencing this reality where you think you have to struggle, where you think you have to suffer, struggle, earn, work hard, it is not that the reality is unfair. It is not that the government is wrong or doing something against you, right? It has nothing to do with that. The only reason why you're experiencing this reality is because you created this reality in your mind, and then it just got translated onto the physical reality, right? From your mind to the matter. Or you've been lied. Wake up, Neo. You've been lied by the system. So again, as I said, there's nothing and no one who can tell you how to live and what you are deserved to, like what you deserve to have, right? But just think about this. Your beliefs about yourself, about life, about business, about whatever, spirituality, are these your ideas, or have you been brainwashed by the system? And the system just installed these viruses into your brain and you just executed them, right? So let's go to the chapter 2. This is what I call the mental viruses. So if you look at most people in this world, in this reality, whether they are aware of it or not, most people are like viruses. Not because that they are bad, it's more like I'm just saying the fact. It's just a fact. It's not like a personal judgment. It's just what you see, right? Most people are bots. Most people are pretty stupid. Most people are not successful, right? So think of this as the system, the matrix, however you want to call this, and what they are trying to do essentially, and they are not even aware of that. So again, I'm not saying people are bad. That's not the point, right? Most people, they do not think for themselves. They just translate whatever the system wants them to believe, right? And I'm pretty sure every single of you who are watching and listening to this video, you have experienced something similar to, you have an opinion about a certain subject, right? Let's say like you're super confident about your business idea, and then you get people maybe judging, maybe, giving you something like, this is not realistic, you should not do this, right? So the point is, every time that you ask for an opinion, every time that you ask a bot, right, NPC, for an opinion, this is like a spiritual suicide, right? So what you are doing at this point is you are letting the frequency or the ideas of other people inside your world, right? So I'm gonna give you a very interesting idea. When you ask for an opinion, this is the act of creation. Think about this. I'm getting goosebumps actually while talking about this, because this is really interesting shit, right? So when you are asking someone, you are creating a reality where the opinions of other people have power over you. So you basically grant admin privileges to the bots, to the NPCs, to the boss that you have, or to the fucking business guru that you watch and mentally masturbate to, right? This is not passive. This is the active creation of your own reality. And this is what most people just don't get, right? Because other people, they are not giving you an opinion. They are basically executing the protocol of the matrix. So think about this. The bot, or like the average Joe Schmo, who is telling you that this is not realistic, this is not a good business idea, right? Let me just give you this idea. Most people are fucking chicken shit. Most people are fucking chicken shit. They are afraid. They are afraid to have their own opinion. They are afraid to just live their life on their own terms, right? They always ask for validation, for opinion from a guru, right? Most people want a fucking guru to decide for themselves. But remember what I said in the beginning of this video. Everything that you see in this reality, it is mental. It is mental. So why are you letting fucking opinions of other people, and I don't care how successful people are, it could be Elon Musk, it could be Jeff Bezos, right? Like the top 1% elite who, a lot of people mentally masturbate to, right? And another thing is, people want you to ask them. Because when you ask someone for an opinion is basically like the validation that they do exist, right? Most people are like fucking leeches. They are leeches who just want your attention, who want your energy, who want your validation. So every time when you're asking someone, it's like you're creating your reality. So why would you ever listen to someone? And I know it sounds pretty insane, but most of you bitches, you want to live like this. You actually want to live like this, but you have way too small balls for that. So when you're asking for an opinion, what are you really doing? Because in most cases, it's again, the system that wants you to play safe, the system that doesn't want you to be aware, that doesn't want you to self-reflect, right? And another idea, and I've been living like this for quite some time, actually, for the last few months, and this is what I would call the awakening, or whatever, right? It doesn't really matter how you call this. I just learned how to listen to myself only. And if you have an opinion, if you have an idea about your business, can you literally say fuck off to this reality? If I truly resonate with someone, right? If there's an opinion that I do like, yeah, sure. Of course, I could accept it, I could take it because it resonates with me. But you are the only person who knows yourself better than anyone else. So why would you take arguments against yourself from other people? Why would you listen to other people? Why would you listen to authorities? Again, and this is not I'm not saying to do something illegal. Absolutely not. It's not about that. But again, there should not be anyone who you listen more than yourself. If you actually want to live on your own terms, right? If you want to live like a fucking bot, okay, sure. That's fine. Now, chapter 3, and that's the paradox of being in your own frame, in your own gravity. So think about this. Most of the bots, most of the people, they hate people like this. When you're not taking any compromises, when you're not open to any discussion, if that doesn't resonate with you, right? And most people would call this arrogant. Most people would call this all narcissist, ego. Okay, sure. If that's how it's called, I love every fucking second of it. So stop proving your point. Stop fucking engaging in conversations like this. And that happens to me, happens to every single person on this planet, right? And funny thing is, people, they tend to call you a narcissist, ego, arrogant, but deep inside, they do want to be around you. And that's the most interesting thing, because most people, they do not have their own opinion, they do not have their own gravity, they do not have their own frame, right? They do not have this, this center of gravity. So think about planets that attract, right? It magnetizes. And this is what happens when you stop taking compromises, right? It's not even the point of discussion for me. If I have an opinion, the whole reality, you can fuck off. Because when you really don't care about losing people, business partners, friends, I don't even care if that's your wife, if that's your husband, right? Can you be so self-grounded, so in balance, so content, so fulfilled with your own presence, that you stop caring for that? Because when you do so, you are creating this black hole, right? Because when your will is unwavering, right? If I said so, that's it. It is not a point of discussion. I don't give a fuck, literally. And most people would dislike that. You know why? Not because that you're wrong, not because that you're a narcissist, not because that this is an ego thing. When you are showing this kind of energy, I'm all in on myself. I am the only one who I'm gonna trust 100%. And again, not like that you're not trusting people at all. It's just you're respecting your own opinion, your own feelings more than anything else. So when you have this kind of standard for yourself, people are gonna get pissed in business, in like maybe friends, maybe personal life, or just in general, right? Just in general, I'm talking about this. Because this type of behavior, or like we could call this the frequency, your mental state, if you remember what I said in the beginning of this video, that everything is mental, and this is a fact, your frequency, the way that you think, the way that you behave, it is a reflection of how fucking pathetic these people are. And it's like a mirror. They see themselves because they can't play with you, or they can't play you, right? Because most people, when you have a communication with someone, most people are like, oh yeah, sure, let's have a discussion, let's have I have an argument against your point. No. Fuck off. There's no arguments. I'm not even gonna discuss, right? And when you have this type of energy, oh, people get mad. Or maybe not mad, they just dislike it. And I've noticed that quite a lot. Because that just shows to other people who they are. And that's painful. And and when you can hold this type of energy, when you can hold this just for yourself, right? When you don't care about losing it all. I'm literally talking about losing it all, whatever you have, when you're not attached to it, like the money, people, your business, anything, right? You're gonna be like a magnet for everything, for people, for money, for opportunities. But look, my friend, the moment that you start gripping tight to this reality, whether it's like making more money in your business, holding, for that friend, romantic partner, right? You're losing your energy. You're losing your magnetism, right? And this is so simple, but this is exactly how this reality is designed. It is not about forcing it. It is not about pressuring yourself. It is not about, forcing yourself to do things that you do not want to do in any context. For most people, that's business, but could be like anything else, right? And that type of energy, that type of behavior that I just spoke about, right? People might call you a psycho. So this is actually something that I have in my outline for this video, right? So people will call you names. They will call you names. And for a bot, like the regular NPC, people like I just described, it's like an anomaly. So a psycho or a narcissist, for most people, it's a definition of a person who does not need external validation, who's so self-grounded. Like, think about this. When people call you names, right? All they are really trying to do is just like put you down. But like really just put you down. They try to attack you, they try to insult you. And again, the moment that you start engaging in it, the moment that you start engaging in these kind of conversations, it's you lost. You're lost. And I don't care if like there's a boss, if there's your partner, if there's a friend, anyone. Not anymore. Not anymore. And the funny thing is, when people call you names, they are just really projecting. And it's like a self-diagnosis. They are doing a self-diagnosis. They are calling you a narcissist, but in reality, these people are fucking pathetic. Right? Weak minds are being magnetized towards people who don't give a fuck, who don't care if they lose people, friends, business, money, love, whatever, right? So even though most NPCs dislike this kind of behavior, they desperately want to be around you. So think about this. All right, chapter 4, why your ego will actually save this reality. So when you're not taking any compromises, this is the highest form, highest shape of love against yourself. So I want to give you another idea. When you accept to take like a compromise with whatever in any sort of human communication interaction, right? It is creating the false energy, because if you look at it, what is a compromise really? Let's say we have two people and they want different things. A compromise is basically, well, you find this like middle ground when no one gets offended. And this is just the example that I'm making up, right? But again, same shit. If no one gets offended, no one is getting the thing that they originally wanted, right? So what's the point? I would rather have nothing than a compromise. And like having that ego is basically just about your own resonance. When you can say, like, you can fuck off. This reality can fuck off. I'm gonna do what I feel, what my spirit wants, or like what I want. Again, because your spirit is you. It's just like a slightly different name, but it's essentially the same thing. So a compromise, it is not like finding a solution that works for both parties, whether that's like friendship, business, love, whatever. When you are taking a compromise, what you are creating is this fake frequency, is the frequency of lying. Like you're actually lying to yourself, but just because you want to be good, just because you want to, be polite or something like that, right? Think about a term for that. The Matrix wants you to be a pussy. So compromise, they do not exist in my reality, because a compromise, it is a crime against yourself, against your spirit. So when people call you like arrogant, people call you like ego, think about this. It is a word, a term that people use against yourself, right? Or like, let me rephrase this. When people call you arrogant, when people say that you have an ego, these are the people who do not have this inner gravity. They do not have this. They just do not have balls, basically. That's what I'm saying. They do not have balls. They do not have balls to listen to themselves. They do not have balls just to act how they want, no matter what people think. Most people, their mind, their spirit, it consists of opinions of other people's expectations, scripts, or the viruses that the system has installed into their mind. So when someone calls you like ego, arrogant, it is a compliment. It is a compliment. So when you have this kind of standard that I'm only listening to myself, even if I come off as I don't know, like negative, harsh, arrogant, why would you give a fuck? Let's be honest. Why would you give a fuck? Because when you compromise yourself just to fit, раз, два, три. Now, chapter 5, I want to give it a interesting name. This is what I would call the dictatorship of your own consciousness. What I'm really referring to is just not taking and not accepting any compromises, right? So a lot of people, they mentally masturbate to Steve Jobs, for example, right? And if you remember Steve Jobs, what he did, obviously the guy was a genius from, the business perspective, that's for sure. Okay. I'm not trying to prove otherwise, but it clearly illustrates that the biggest, the best, the most interesting products, ideas, they do not come from the point of having an argument or not the argument, having a discussion with other people. All the best, most genius products, they come from the point of absolutely this like egoic vision, like in a good way. Like don't think that ego is a bad thing. Ego is like it is neutral. It is neutral. Now, to illustrate the idea how to ruin your product, how to ruin your life. Let's say you have an idea for your business, for your life, whatever, right? Any think about anything that you're interested in your life, right? Fitness, whatever. And then when you start looking for other people's opinions, experts, teachers, whatever, right? What now you are doing is you are taking that frequency, or a really cool analogy would be for my like software engineers. Imagine that, I'm gonna keep repeating this metaphor because it's really great. Imagine that every single thought that you have, it's a code that you write to your life. So the moment you allow opinions of so-called experts, gurus, or just generally like other people to influence your decisions, to influence your like life, you are just installing these viruses from the matrix inside your world, inside your brain. Why would you do this? And when I call this, it's a meme, right? Nothing serious. It's a meme. But when I call this the dictatorship of your consciousness, it's not like a being dictator to other people. You are being a dictator to your mental fluctuations. Let me explain what I mean. The most challenging part for a lot of people, and including myself in the past, right now I do not experience that. But these are the thoughts that you have like at 3 a.m. at night when you have this maybe self-doubt. Oh, what if X person was right? But these are not your thoughts, and you are not your thoughts. It's just something that you have picked up. It's what I would call like upbringing, conditioning. I would call this the matrix code, the virus, right? I'm intentionally giving it all such names so that you can clearly identify everything that doesn't feel right. You're not obligated to take on these beliefs. You're not obligated to even fucking consider, even fucking listen to that. Do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor and only listen and execute on the ideas that make you happy, on the ideas that light that fire inside you. If you had an idea and like an expert, your business teacher, your business consultant said, this is not a good idea, fuck off. Like literally, fuck off. You don't have to say this out loud, but in your mind, you know what? No, I'm still gonna do what I want to do. I'm still gonna think what I want to think, right? And the hardest thing sometimes is really being a dictator to these thoughts, right? The thoughts of the matrix, because you think these are your thoughts, you think these are your ideas, but all the self-sabotage, all the insecurities, all the doubts, these are not your thoughts. These are just the thoughts that may come from other people, from your upbringing, whatever, right? just generally like your life story, right? You have some context about life, right? You have your own story, but you never ever you want to make circumstances, opinions of other people, you never want to put that above yourself. Like never ever. So think about this, all the genius ideas, products, things that people have created, it was created against the common sense, right? Think of an iPhone. Again, Steve Jobs is a good example. iPhone is not a product of a marketing research, right? Oh, this is what people want. Think about this. Steve Jobs, he got this idea and he just told people, his team, you know what, fuck off. Like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this the way that I see this product, right? So everything that is created for like masses, like mass market, this is just garbage. This is just garbage. I don't care if that's an idea, if that's a product, everything that is created for the masses, in most cases, is just garbage, right? I would rather speak to like 0.111% of people who are actually interested in creating their reality, living the life on their own terms, rather than trying to explain to a monkey why the whole point of this video, right? I don't want to explain to you fucking bots. So that's something to think about. Never ever you want to take a compromise. Obviously, I'm not saying like you should be a dick, or you should be behave like a psycho, but just be relentless. Just be relentless when it comes to your own ideas, to your own beliefs, to the way that you feel. Because most people, you don't listen enough to yourself. You listen to other people, but you're not listening to yourself. How fucked up is that? Right? Now, the difference between a dictator and the architect is subtle. It is subtle. But it's... Let me explain. The way that I look at... And again, I don't want to talk about politics, but dictatorship, it is usually coming from fear, right? The fear of control, right? An architect, on the other hand, you're not trying to control. Like, you genuinely just don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck about results. You don't give a fuck about if people leave you. So like, the whole idea of dictatorship, being a dictator to your thoughts, to this like little bitch inside you, this is what I mean. And people usually get like magnetized. They get drawn to people who I would call architects, right? As like architects, they just translate this energy, this like magnetism, confidence, freedom, and this is what magnetizes people, right? This is what attracts people. Okay, chapter 6, and this is again such an important one. Wow, like the video is actually getting so long, but you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. Think about this. Most people are using their mind against themselves. And I'm going to explain. You're going to be shocked that on the very basic level, like 99.9% are using their mind against yourself, right? So think about this. Let's say you have a business idea. Let's say you want to do something. And what... Okay. Let me give you a specific example, like something tangible. Let's say you want to make $100 million. Again, for some people it's not such a big number. For some people it's like it's an insane number. But let's stop here. You want to make $100 million. So what do most people start doing at this point? They start thinking why it is not possible. So basically what you are doing this like mental spiritual sabotage. You are shitting in your pants. You are shitting in your pants. This is what I call mental masturbation. Any idea against yourself, trying to find an argument, like, is this realistic? Is this possible? Why would people buy my product? Let me ask you, my friend, are you actually, like, are you a mental masochist? A fucking pervert? Honestly, are you a pervert doing this kind of thinking these kind of thoughts? What I said in the beginning of this video, this reality is mental. It is written in the Bible. It is written in like other ancient books you can study. You can read Kybalion if you're really interested, because this is the foundation to everything. When you are thinking, is this even possible? Do I deserve it? Is it gonna work? You're not thinking about failure. You are creating this failure, and whether that's your business, whether that's like your romantic personal life, any area of your life, it's applicable. So why are you doing that? Any attempt to find arguments against yourself is considered a spiritual crime against yourself, against your spirit, against your higher self, however you want to call this, right? So I'm using the power of the infinite intelligence, because whether you believe it or not, whether you accept it or not, we are all a part of like this one infinite intelligence. You can call this God, you can call this entity, it doesn't really matter, because these are just like trying to be specific, like pick a specific term. It doesn't really matter, right? So I'm using the power of this divine infinite intelligence to shoot myself in the foot. You do not have any contradicting thoughts. You do not have any self-sabotage thoughts. The only reason why you might have these thoughts is because you are thinking about it. So the sole fact that you are making these fucking thoughts in your mind, it is an act of creating your reality, whether you want this or not. And you can be fucking, I don't know, you can be successful, you can be a millionaire, it doesn't fucking matter, right? Any opposing thought to the desired reality, to the reality that you want, is considered a spiritual and mental crime against yourself, because you're creating this reality, okay? Now, a quick thought, a quick idea that I want to share. On top of that, I have banned the words important, urgent, need. These are the thoughts that the Matrix is using to manipulate you, especially the word need. Think about this. When you are using the word need, what does that imply? It implies that you are an object being controlled by the external forces. And people don't even realize how much of that fucking garbage vocabulary they are using in their day-to-day life. Even fucking successful entrepreneurs, creators online, whatever, right? Nothing is serious, nothing is urgent, nothing is important. And if you still believe into the seriousness and the importance of this fucking reality, because let me tell you this, my friend, if you are still playing this game, if you're still rushing, you know why? Because you're fucking afraid to die. You're fucking afraid to die, and you're just chicken shit to admit it to yourself. Think about this. If you remove the fear of death, if you remove time, the whole human civilization it basically becomes just ceases to exist. Because the system fucking is feeding you with that fear, whether that's like rushing, time, like you're gonna die one day. Fucking retards, you're not gonna die. Yes, okay, the physical body is gonna die, but the consciousness who's operating that physical body, you cannot die. So why do you believe in these fucking lies? Why do you think this is all fucking serious? again, when you understand that this is all technically the illusion, yes, the experience itself is very real. I'm not saying that, you know, when you touch something, when you like smell something, when you taste, or when you do something in your business, this is not real. No, it is indeed real, but you're not just a piece of meat. This is what I want you to understand, right? So the past does not exist, the future does not exist. So why are you making up all these fucking arguments against yourself? Why are you bringing the past to the present moment? Why are you bringing future to the present moment? Why are you trying to fucking control? Right? Relax. Relax your ass. You can have fucking everything that you want in this reality if you just allow yourself to have it. That's the whole point. Chapter 7. Feel, not think. And this relates very much to what I've said throughout the whole video. The mistake that so many people are making when it comes to creating the reality that they want, experiencing their desires and the reality that they want, you're trying to understand how, you're trying to analyze, you're trying to, again, to understand how to get something from this reality, right? But the moment you just let go of how and you just focus on what, again, I'm gonna keep it very simple. If you want fucking 10, 20, $100 million, you can have it. If that's a true, authentic, genuine desire, if it's not something that the society, the system, the matrix has brainwashed you with, right? Because when it comes to money, especially, and big goals, and like this whole fucking idea of like achieving big, dreaming big, all that shit, right? So people get millions, and now what? Now what? You think it's gonna change you? And I'm just using this example to illustrate that most of your desires are socially conditioned. You've been brainwashed by the system. And you are living like a pathetic, submissive bitch. Because you do not that much money. You do not need that much money. You can have it. Like, again, I'm not saying it's impossible. But most people are brainwashed. So now, let me get a little bit more specific when it comes to feeling, right? You have sensations, you have emotions, you have something inside your body, right? You know a feeling that, let's say, you know that you have a phone, you know that you have a computer, right? A car, whatever, right? So knowing it is not the idea, it is a state of your consciousness. You just know, like, hey, I have this phone, or I have this car, or I have this object, right? And when you can feel that you deserve to have the reality that you want, right? Whether that's money, love, objects, experiences, when you just decide and you know, it's not that you believe, it's that you just know, right? The reality will start like immediately showing you that, reflecting that. And again, I'm not saying that you should look for signs, because this is, again, it just shows that you live in scarcity. It just shows that you live in scarcity. But again, you can have anything that you want. The only problem that people have is you are trying to measure the infinite intelligence, the like divine infinite intelligence, infinite consciousness, by using words, by using, just human terms. Do not try to fucking figure out how. Like, if you genuinely have a desire, if you genuinely have a thought, an idea, don't fucking let anyone affect you. Right? And the biggest thing here is, are you willing to go all in? It relates to what I've said in the previous chapters of this video. Are you willing to go all in to the point where It's either I'm gonna get what I want, or it's all or nothing. It's all or nothing, right? And that's a mental state. That's not like, again, sometimes people may think, like, at least how I was thinking, it was a bit too dramatic, right? It's like, oh, it's this or nothing. It's this or nothing. Again, don't attach it to specific physical objects, right? It's not the object that you want. It's the state, right? It's the state. So if you feel something, like truly, it could be in any area of your life. If you know this, like you just know this, you feel it on the physical level, that's your truth. And no one knows this better than you. No one knows this better than you. So all the fucking rules of this reality, the common sense, the like, again, since I'm doing like more business content right now, I want to give you some final examples and ideas. Like, you believe into the laws of physics, you believe into the market, into the economy, into the crisis, marketing and sales funnels, like social media algorithm. Fuck this shit. I believe in the power of my imagination. And you know what's funny? When you truly feel like on a physical level with your body, and you know that I am my own source, I am the source, you can have anything that you want. And reality becomes your bitch. You get paid to exist. You get paid to exist. And if you don't believe it, that's the only reason why you don't get paid to exist. So in my own reality, there's only one law, only one principle. The power of my imagination. This is what I call the dictatorship, but just for fun, right? Just for fun, because I think it's a little funny meme. Like, my world, my rules. In business, in love, in any context, my business, or like my world, my rules. This is my reality. If you don't like it, fuck off, right? So stop considering opinions of other people. Fuck this reality, fuck everyone. If that is not aligned with the way that you feel, because that's not fucking important. That's not fucking important. Alright, my friends, this is it for this episode. If you want to get paid to exist, then click this next video to check it out. I'll see you in the next video.